run this command manually. If suppose you have local machine, you can run that command manually and you can install Ansible. But in the currently I'm doing that because time is less. We are automating it and we have created a shell script which is bootstrap.sh file. And in Vagrant file what we'll do is we just have to add one line of code. Here if you see it is written config.vm.provision shell path : bootstrap.sh. So it is pointing to this file. So once we run the vagrant up command, it will first of all look for the provisioning of that particular script. We can install as many software as we want on the machines from here also. And currently we are installing Ansible and Git on this machine. Only Node 1 machine. If you see Node 2 and Node 3, I haven't done that because we want to do everything on Node 1 machine. No, there is no connection of Vagrant in Playbook. Vagrant is totally different concept where we are just trying to launch the virtual environment, and for launching it we are just running this command to, once the environment is launched, after that there is no need of looking in Vagrant. Then only the part will remain about Ansible which will do the deployments. Okay?
You have to
that is a good question. If you have to launch Ansible from a machine, then you need Ubuntu, Debian, CentOS machines. You can't do, currently it is not supporting that from Windows machine. You can launch Windows machine, you can deploy to Windows machine, but if you have to do some deployment, so controller machine should be something like Ubuntu, Debian or CentOS.
But you can do deployment on Windows machine. Applying security patches, applying software, that can be done on Windows machine.
So this requirement that you have to install Ansible is only for controller.
Yes.
Right.
Not for other machines.
Not for other machines, because what we are doing is we are using Ansible and we are deploying on several machines, right? So why we need on other machines? We just want to do deployment on other machine. This machine is your machine. You can do anything. You can install Ansible. You will just deploy to other machines. It can be production. It can be staging, right? So once the machines the virtual box get launched, what we'll do is we'll connect to this Node 1 machine. Node 1 machine means the controller machine. You got it right? Where the Ansible will get installed. And we'll try to add the IP addresses of other machine where we want to deploy the things. So we'll edit this file, etc host file, and we'll add the IP addresses. We'll generate the SSH key, and then finally we'll run the playbook. And we already have discussed that in previous screen also, that SSH is needed to connect to any of the machine. So what we can do is we can talk about playbook now. Right now what we were talking about how to launch the environment, virtual environment, and then how we can connect to the machine. So we can talk about playbook now. Let me open that project. So this is our playbook, and this is project structure. First of all, we'll talk about config file. The config file is like where all the configuration of the project will be added. Currently it has host file equal to inventory.inf file. And what this inventory.inf file is? This is the file where we'll add all the host name of the machines. So it can have hundreds and thousands of host name where we want to do the deployments. So currently we have two machines where we need to go deployment, that is Node 2 and Node 3. So if you see this playbook file, it is very simple to understand. We already have commented and written it here, that common task. So this is when we have to do any setup, some common things are needed to be add it on all machine. Like for example, we have security policy or either some installation or either IAS setup or either Apache server setup. So that need to be installed on all of the machines. In that case, this common task will be executed. Then other section is backend play. Backend play is where we are installing our database. So here you can see we have installed MongoDB on node 3 machine. That is the third machine in our configuration file. And this is front end. I mean, this will contain all the UI application part and deployments. So host colon all, what it is? All is where we are like already having the IP address is specified in inventory.ini file. It will consider this one. So currently it will consider node 2 and node 3. If we have a lot of IP addresses or host name of the machine, that will be also considered in this all section. So if you see here roles, what that roles is. Roles is like, it is a predefined reusable task. And what that mean is like, we are running this task, right? So you already have asked about that Docker one, right? So in Docker what we have to do, we can just download the image from the Docker Hub. And we have already predefined images like installing Apache, installing MongoDB, installing Nginx, or installing MySQL. So everything can be done with one line of code, right? We can just download that image and it will be, I mean, containerized at our local machine also. So same thing we can do here also. We have different roles like MongoDB, Nginx, Node.js, and we can go to the site. They have one site where we can just download the roles. This is that site. If suppose I want MongoDB to be installed, I will search for it. I will see here lot of roles available. I will click on it. I will run this command. And after running this command on my machine, it will download the MongoDB role for me. I have to copy that MongoDB command in my role section. Done. Only we have to copy that and we have to add this role here. So if you see here, I have added this one, stouts.mongodb, and this is added in role section. Can you see that? It's visible, right? This one? Yeah. So if suppose I have lot of machines, I have to install MongoDB, what I have to do? I will just write 2-3 lines of code in playbook. I will say host and the IP address or either the host name of the machine. I will say become colon yes. Become colon yes is we are telling the playbook that run with the administrator permission and user as root permission. And in these roles, already I have downloaded the stouts.mongodb and which is added in roles folder. I will just add this line of code and it will execute. And when I run this playbook, it will execute all the machines which I have specified in this host section and deploy MongoDB on that several machines. So I mean, same like Docker, right? Where we are like getting the image and we are, deploying it to several machines. So likewise, if you see here, we have Nginx, Node.js. These are also the ready-made available roles which I have downloaded and added here. And we can even like write our custom application also and roles also. We can download it and we can add that role. We can customize it. So I guess you must have got brief idea of what playbook is, right? Let's see, our environment is launched. Yeah, so we can see here our environment is launched. Let's see the status of it. So node 1, node 2, node 3, all the 3 virtual boxes are running now. We'll connect to node 1 machine. Already I have told you that Ansible and Git is already installed on this machine. Either we can do that manually also. So we'll just check the version of Ansible. So it is there. Now what we'll do is we'll try to edit the host file where we'll add the IP addresses. We'll add the IP addresses of node 2 and node 3 machine because we want to configure the things on that machine, right? These are the two machines, node 2 and node 3. Now I will generate SSH key. We can give password as well for if we want to protect it, but in this environment I am not doing that. And now I will run a command to key scan. So these 3 keys are already added in known host file. So after that, we have to run the playbook, right? So we already have discussed about this project structure, inventory, configuration. We have discussed about playbook.yml file. So I will clone that here. We have installed Ansible. We have generated the SSH key, and now what we are doing, we are trying to clone our project so that we can get that playbook file. Either you can directly go here and create that project, or I'm just doing cloning that project from my GitHub. So we can see that project. So we have this structure. Now we want to run this playbook.yml file. So the command is ansible-playbook and the YML file. It can be any name, but right now I have named it as playbook.yml. I will run this. It will